Hello, Violas. Today we're working on page 11 in Essential Elements Book 2, and there's some really lovely music on this page. So this is a page that you're probably going to want to spend a bit of time on. And the last one on this page is the Rondo by Moret, which is one of the Essential Elements quizzes. So you'll probably be submitting a video assessment on that one. We're going to start at the top of the page with number 43 called A Capital Ship. All the ones on this page are in D major, so you're going to use your F sharp, C sharp finger patterns, and we are mostly playing on the A string and the D string with a few G string notes in the last one. Make sure that you're really counting carefully as you're counting these dotted quarter and eighth note figures, and remembering that you got to use a slower bow when it's a dotted quarter that is then followed by an eighth note. So be thinking about your bow distribution, using mostly the middle of the bow, and maybe using about half the bow for most of the bow strokes. Let's go ahead and get started. The first one is number 43. It's called A Capital Ship. And then make sure that you're remembering also to do the slurs in the bowing. Now, number 44 is called Essential Creativity, and the suggestion is that you change the rhythm on that one by adding some dots to the quarter notes and some flags to the quarter notes to make them dotted quarter and eighth notes. So I encourage you to do that. You don't have to do it on all of them, but make sure that if you do change the rhythm, that you are balancing it out by making one of them dotted and the other one the eighth note. If you made them both dotted, then that would be too many beats in a measure. And then make sure that as you play it with any modifications. I'm going to go ahead and just play it as written, and you're welcome to learn it that way, and then you're welcome to also modify it and play it with your modified rhythm. Here we go. This is Essential Creativity. Play with that rhythm as much as you want. Now the next one uses hooked bowing, and hooked bowing is similar to a tie or a slur, except you do stop the bow between the two notes. So for number 45, you've got a dotted quarter note and then followed by an eighth note, but they are on the same bow stroke. So rather than going, you're going to go down, down, up. And that actually works nicely, because what we were having to do with the slow bow and the fast bow for the normal dotted rhythms, it actually balances itself out when you're doing hooked, because you do both the long note and the short note on the same bow stroke, and then you balance that out with a half note on the up bow. Okay, let's go ahead and play this one with the backing track. And this one is pretty easy to play, but the hooked bowing might take you a little bit to get used to. Way to practice your scales as well. All right, so the next song is called Theme from New World Symphony. This is by Dvorak, who is a Czech composer from the Czech Republic. And this one uses the hooked bowing. It also has a slow tempo. Lento means a slow tempo. And at the end, it has a ritardando. If you'll notice that under the second to the last measure, it says rit. That tells you you're going to gradually slow down until the end. And notice it also has a fermata on the last note. And if you remember from the last page, that means you hold that note longer. So this is Theme from New World Symphony. I would encourage you to look that up, the symphony. And this is the second movement of the symphony that we're playing here. When I say look that up, I mean go find a recording of the New World Symphony so you can hear what it sounds like in its original context. Here we go. we know when we hook and when we slur or tie, it's the staccato marks. The staccato marks tell you to put separation. So if you've got two notes that have the curved line indicating they're on the same bow stroke, but they also have the dot under or over the note vertically aligned, then you would stop the bow between the two notes. Let's go ahead and continue with number 47. This is rondo, and this one's got some roadmap challenges. Roadmap is talking about the repeats and the first endings and the second endings and things like that. So if you look at the beginning, first of all, notice that there is a pickup to this one. It's got two notes before the first bar line, and that first bar line is also a repeat sign. So you're going to be repeating back to that point. If you look at the first ending, the end of the first ending has that same two-note pickup that you played at the beginning, and then you repeat back to that first measure. When we're counting measures, we do not count any partial measures at the beginning of the piece. So the first two notes don't count as a numbered measure. The first full measure is measure 1. Second time through, you play through the second line and then you skip the first ending and you take the second ending. There is also a ritardando and a fermata at the end of this one. So this piece is the theme from an old TV show called Masterpiece Theater. I don't think it's been on for a while, but your parents might recognize it. It's by a French composer, Jean-Joseph Moret, and it's called Rondo. Nicely done. I hope you enjoy playing the pieces on page 11, and then definitely put some work into that last one, number 47. That one is a little bit more challenging than most of the other ones that we've played out of the Essential Elements book. So it just means it warrants a little bit more time working on it. Make sure that you are really focusing on playing the notes correctly, accurately in tune, and also getting the bowing correctly, making sure that you're following all of those slurs and hooks, and then also the dynamics. There are some dynamics marked, so try and play loud and soft when it asks you to. So enjoy these pieces. Good luck and happy practicing.